quite a crowd.
If they came to hear me beg, they will be disappointed.
Are you sure?
Hey guys, and welcome back to the Chaos Storm. I think it goes without saying it's been an interesting couple of weeks regarding the recent controversy. I don't think there's been anyone who hasn't had their 2 cents when it comes to why or how Halo can be improved. Whether it be the firing of 343 or an acrobatic corporate turnaround, there have been hundreds of legitimate takes and concerns floating around the community right now. It's easy to zoom out and say more people are concerned about how the situation will be handled than playing the game. And let's be honest, there's a reason why the Real Housewives of Atlanta is popular with people. People are drawn to drama, and it's understandable. If we rewind these last 10 years, 343 has legitimately fell short where Bungie left off. And looking past the depressing shortcomings, it's been hilarious to see how Halo has had so many seemingly simple problems and features missing, especially from one of Microsoft's main franchises. But I don't want to forgive or even excuse 343 for their handling of the series. Believe me when I say I'm not a 343 apologist by any means. However, disclaimer aside, we're not going to get Halo back to the top of the gaming sphere if everyone is ripping them a new methane hole. It's entertaining to see all the big names really go in on them. It's been a really frustrating 10 years, but I want to take a purely productive approach. Being honest, I'm not one that likes to express a lot of cynicism. I'm just not good at it. And for right now, to save this burning ship, we've got to save the crew before everything goes up in flames. But before we dive into anything, in my opinion, Microsoft and its unlimited money likely won't do anything to 343. I mean, to my knowledge, there isn't anyone out there that could even come close to making another Halo, at least anytime soon. It's not like Microsoft can just break off 343 tomorrow and just hire some new studios to come in and the game magically be fixed. Even if such an incredible feat could be done, it would take probably months or even years to even rectify a lot of their mistakes. Even with the recent resignation of Bonnie Ross due to a medical family issue, 343 looks to continue developing Halo, just with new executives. And with that being said, the big questions really boil down to this. Was Bonnie Ross's departure a knee-jerk reaction to the recent controversy? Now, I don't like to spread misinformation, so I'll just leave that up to someone else. I don't want to start on any drama until I at least finish Game of Thrones. And another fair question we have to ask right now is, how capable are these new execs at making Halo feel like Halo? Pierre Hines is the new studio head, and he's had a promising track record, at least at face value, with experience developing games and shipping them. However, with that being said, will this new hodgepodge of execs fix the Halo that's drowning under 2 tons of grunt shit? Maybe, maybe not. It's really hard to objectively say at this point, but it may be the catalyst for what we need going forward. If the problem is upper management at 343, then hopefully the new people are able to take control and right some of the wrongs. They have their work cut out for them at least. But in the same vein, though, what if this spells the absolute downfall of Halo? What if Bonnie Ross was keeping it together? An omen of what's to come? I really hope not. I want to at least pretend to be positive during the new transition. If I am correct, though, Microsoft founded the studio, so I'm sure there are plenty of ties that are between the two entities. If the issue is rotten to the core, a new studio may really be the only solution. Now, I feel like after all that, I still have to remind myself that I promise I'm not excusing 343's handling of Halo. If there is to be a transition, it's probably going to be a minute before it happens. Well, even if it happens. So, after all that, why am I making this video? Well, I'm glad you asked. I really think Halo has sadly been bitten by the modern gaming bug that's been sickening so many AAA titles recently. And looking at titles like Battlefield 2042 or the recent Call of Duty Reject, we have the option of Forge providing the healing solution. Now, don't get me wrong though, it's only the biggest band-aid of all time, covering up this trashy storm of Infinite at the moment. But in my opinion, it will hopefully buy us some time to come up with a better solution, at least down the road. Really, hopefully it beats the alternative of taking this game out to the backyard and teabagging it to death. We could really save it. Well, at least I believe we could really save it. At least when you lean back in your chair and you think about it, I mean, it might be such a crazy idea that even if it doesn't work, it could at the very least rectify a lot of problems that Infinite is really struggling with right now, especially in terms of content. But why even do I think Infinite's Forge has all 7 Dragon Balls that could magically wish this game back from the pits of hell? Personally, I believe it will recreate Halo's glory days from the Bungie era. Sure, there will be significantly more price tags and far less content, but it will hopefully restore some life to this game and give it at least some momentum to kind of get back on track. Halo at its core has always been fun with your friends, and bringing back things that are fun with your friends is the biggest part of the puzzle. And this is the crux of the video. It's painfully obvious for even 343 that this is their last chance before they're ritually sacrificed on a remote island. They released this Forge tutorial series to at least try and garner traction and good faith, and it's a great step in the right direction in my opinion. Is it solving the problem? No, not at all. But it clearly is a response to the tsunami of rightful criticism they've been hit with. I mean, it's not really in 343's or pretty much any big company's nature to come out and admit that they may have messed up the last 10 years. I think they would rather sacrifice their firstborn son than to ever come out and say that. But kicking that whole rant to the side, this Forge is most definitely the best looking one ever. On YouTube and Twitter, I've seen some honestly astounding things, and it gives me a lot of hope. If there is one thing that has been proven, is that you, me, or pretty much anybody with a controller can make some of the best content ever seen, especially in a Halo game. I mean, if we just take a look at the stuff in the first video we saw, we've got undo, redo functions, no clip, rescaling, texture changes, and even item prefab sharing. These are essentially the tools that made the top 5 Roblox games. And if that's truly infinite ceiling, then it will already be 7 times better than what we have at its current state. Forge will be the proverbial skeleton and muscle system for these next few years. Well, unless we get another studio, of course. For better or worse, we're stuck with 343 for the foreseeable future. And as a community, we have to attack this situation from all angles. Halo has been by far one of the best party games since its inception. The split screen removal has clearly shown us that it's still a party game at heart. And personally, I think as a community, we shouldn't have to bail out huge companies. But it may be the only way we can make Infinite not a total trash heap. We can make a plethora of maps 343 for one reason or another won't or can't make. And we might as well remake all of the fantastic classics we've had for years. We really shouldn't idly stand by and let our beloved game drown if we can help it, in my opinion. I know right now, being a Halo fan is probably at its lowest point. Really, more than 90% of us are already playing other games. But trust me, if Forge is close to what we want and file share is prevalent, Halo will be saved. And really, I don't really hate 343. I'm just mostly disappointed because this Halo was supposed to be the magnum opus, the culmination of all their mistakes rectified. It's kind of strange how almost every Halo game is 1 or 2 steps in the right direction, and then you'll take 3 or 2 steps back in some areas. It's really strange. It's frustrating, it's angering and confusing, but I don't really have a lot of hate, at least not pure hatred for 343. If anything, hopefully this is their wake-up call. I mean, they've sat around and received their online spanking, their criticisms, and I hope they're at least capable of building this foundation that I think the community has tons of expectation for. If they happen to make a functioning Forge, then we can at least do our part and help build a Halo game. Crazy how I feel like I have to say that we have to help build a game. I mean, we're just a community, we're made to enjoy it, especially for a big developer. But if firing 343 is the last option to get our beloved Halo back, it'll probably be years or maybe even longer. But that's just my 2 cents, just my opinion. The rant's over, and if you have any suggestions or anything of the sort, let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear your feedback. Should we stick around and help 343, or should we put them to the torch? I mean, get rid of them and bring in somebody new, even if that may take an extended amount of time. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you on the ground. Technique out.